Why do narcissists hurt the people that they love? Maybe you've been with someone, maybe someone who's toxic, narcissistic, whatever, and you've been with them for a month, 5 years, 35 years, and you're wondering, why in the world do they keep hurting me? Do they not understand what's going on? Is it all intentional? Is it all purposeful? Why do they keep hurting me? So many times people struggle with this question and the thought process of like what's actually going on, because it doesn't seem normal. It doesn't fit in the normal sense of someone's like psyche, like growth, development, like how society's supposed to work, how relationships are supposed to work. Like, why is this person hurting me? If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Ben Taylor. I run Raw Motivations, and I'm a self-aware narcissist on this platform to provide awareness about what narcissism actually is, to be able to show people the destruction, the hurt that it actually causes in people's lives. And I come with firsthand knowledge because that's what I have done. And that's how I've been. And that's the same attributes and qualities and behaviors that I'm working on changing and growing, developing myself on a day-to-day basis. I'm on this platform to bring awareness, growth, healing, and change. The growth, healing, and change part is where I'm on here providing small bits of content like every single day for people to be able to digest, get nuggets of truth, and be able to see, hey, I resonate with that. Maybe my relationship is toxic in a certain way. The more people that resonate it, the more people that reach out and want to be able to talk and be able to help work through that process. So I partner with people in one-on-one coaching through Zoom all over the globe to be able to talk to them about how to break out of the trauma bond. That thought process of like, this relationship is toxic, but I still want to go back. I still want to interact with this person. I still want to contact them, see them, be with them, even though I know it's going to wreak havoc on my body. It's going to give me anxiety. It's going to give me weight gain. It's going to give me stress, sleepless nights. And people are like, but I don't understand it. And they get really confused. So I try to help people work through the trauma bond and actually be able to break that down, to be able to go through the emotions, the feelings, the story that you're telling yourself, and help you rewire your mind to find that growth, healing, and change. Do it with a trauma bond, do it with getting through like the ruminating stage. And that's where you feel at peace because there's no narcissist in your life actively abusing you, but that peace doesn't feel peaceful. Where relationships seem boring, where you're constantly thinking about that person, you're getting out of that addictive stage of being addicted to another person. Then I also help like set up the future as far as how we're going to set up boundaries. How are we going to build stuff for you? Because boundaries are for you, not for the other person. How are we going to build boundaries that keep you from going back to the narcissist or getting with another person that's toxic? That's how I try to partner with people on a day-to-day basis. Probably about 95% of the people that I see are narcissistic abuse survivors. They want to be able to talk to either a self-aware narcissist that understands the thoughts and the mindset of the narcissist, or just be able to see and resonate some of the things that I talk about to be able to help them grow, heal, and change. I do talk to narcissists. Probably about 5% and probably about like 0.5% actually come back and actually want to communicate once more. But because typically they're not looking for that growth, healing, and the change. They're looking for validation, justification, and an excuse to keep doing the things that they're doing. The crazy thing is sometimes when they reach out, they know what's going on, but they're making the active choice not to be honest, not to engage, and not to really care. So be careful out there. If you don't follow already on some of the other platforms, or if you're listening on the podcast, look for me at Raw Motivations on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all over the place. We're dropping those little bits of nuggets of truth every single day. Love to interact with you here. If you haven't had a chance, download the Narc app in Apple Store and in Google Play. Download that Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Community. Just type in Narc, and it gives you a really great opportunity to be able to interact with other people, interact with our exclusive lives, ask for advice, track your no contact, posts like your growth, everything like that. Also, we have monthly lives, monthly coaching calls coming up every single month where we interact with everybody on the platform and be able to help interact with a healing, growth, and change, not even in a narcissistic realm, but in a forward future focus. Like, how are we growing? What habits are we putting in our life now to help us continue on? Anyways, sorry, that was a long intro. But anyways, I wanted to talk to you of like, why do narcissists hurt you? Like, why do they hurt the ones that they love? Like, these are the people that they've signed on for life because they've gotten married, or they've said, like, you're the person for me. Like, I'm never going to leave you or hurt you or anything like that. Like, why do they actually do this? Like, is it intentional? Is it on purpose? So I think one of the things that's a key to kind of point out to start off with is just like the concept of love. Like, do you have the same concept and idea of love as the narcissist? Probably you don't. See, the difference with the narcissist is their concept of love and the idea of another person being their life is very self-serving and is very transactional. It's like, how can I get this person to serve me better? How can I get this person to get more things out of this person? What can I do in that regard? So for a narcissist thinking love, it's not really love of like, how can I respect or honor or put someone else's needs above my own? It's more or less like, hey, this love is great and I feel connected. Maybe you'll make me better. Maybe I'll get something out of you. And maybe this relationship will be better than all the other, 12 previous exes that were crazy and just didn't get along. Narcissists, I think, struggle as a whole with engaging with true love. That's how I was. I struggled with the aspect of engaging with true love because of the fact that I was unwilling to show proper self-love to myself. So as a result, I couldn't come to the table with my wife and show her or exemplify true love at all. A lot of times people ask me, do you love your wife now? Yes, I love my wife now, but the love for my wife is not the reason why I changed. I had to be able to walk through that process. That's a whole nother video, but I had to be able to walk through that process and show adequate self-love and self-reflection towards myself before I could ever exemplify that out to other people. You can't build love or a relationship on a foundation of lies. And that's what happens with the narcissist so often is they build a foundation that's full of lies. If you can't be truly seen, known, or heard, you don't really have a relationship to be able to start off with. Narcissists, they don't have that proper self-love. It doesn't reflect to proper self-reflection, them working on being self-aware, growing, healing, and change. Side note, if a narcissist is self-aware, doesn't mean they're going to change, doesn't mean they want to change. There's a lot of narcissists out there that are actually self-aware and they don't care. They just know, this is who I am. Who cares? I don't do this. I don't do this. And they justify their other actions and behaviors. So just be careful of that. One thing I think you have to think about is like, is it intentional? Like, is it intentional that the narcissist is coming in and hurting me? And I know a lot of people are like, yes, it's intentional. I know exactly. I don't think it's always intentional. Okay, because even living in it, being in the moment, there wasn't always the aspect of it being intentional. Now, if you're with someone that you can definitely clearly see it's intentional, you might be dealing closer with like a sociopath. Like those sociopath and psychopath start to get to the place where it is very much intentional. A lot of the stuff from narcissism is actually a defense mechanism to be able to hide from the things that they don't want to deal with, whether that's accountability or responsibility, typically that tweak the aspects of guilt and shame in that person's life. For a narcissist, you want to be able to take the guilt and shame, box it up, compartmentalize it, and put it away. Like, I hate the aspect of guilt and shame and that being something in my life, so I want to be able to put it away, push it on you, do whatever I can, just not to experience it. So I want you to think of this. Imagine that you're standing behind me, and off in the distance, there's a car coming, and it's going at 50 miles an hour. And as that car is coming closer, you start to see on the front of the car, it actually says guilt and shame on it. For a narcissist looking at that, that is the aspect of pure terror, of understanding this is coming at me, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's going to completely obliterate me and destroy me as a person. And as I look at that car, as it's coming closer and closer and closer, I see the guilt and the shame, and all I think in my mind is, what do I do to avoid it? What do I do to be able to get away from the path of that car and the guilt and the shame that are coming at me that are going to impact me and change my life? That is so terrifying that what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll jump out of the way, and that car will speed right by me and it will run over you and completely obliterate you. At the end of the day, am I driving the car? Am I pointing the car? No, but there's an aspect that I don't care the ramifications of getting out of the way of guilt and shame and letting it hurt someone else. At the end of the day, what I care about is that my mask is intact and that guilt and shame does not have an impact on me. And that is what narcissists are running away from and trying to hide from, is the avoidance of shame. Because I see something and I say, I did bad. That means I am bad. That doesn't match with my mask. So therefore, I have to be able to get away from it. I have to change someone else's reality by gaslighting, love bombing, future faking, doing whatever I can to avoid that accountability. Another thing I'd like to bring up is a lot of people ask, like, why do narcissists do this to good people? Like, I'm a good person. I love the narcissist. Why did they do this to me? Like, why did they do this? The thing you have to think of there is a narcissist doesn't look through the same lens of life as you do. And so when you're going through life being like, wow, like that's a really good person. Like I should be nice to him. I should, say thanks. I should give a smile. I should give a hug, like whatever it might be. A narcissist isn't walking through life with kind of like nice meters, like in their mindset, or like good meters. In one sense, they're walking through life with being like, okay, I can get this from this person. This can help me this way. If I leverage myself in this aspect, it'll help me get that job promotion. If I smile at this person, then they might see me as more attractive. Like it's all a different like programming that's like running through. And so when you ask the question of like, how could they do this because I love them so much? How could they do this to a good person? You have to understand and kind of step back. Narcissist isn't doing it because you're a good or bad person, because it's not about you. The narcissist is doing it because it's about them. It's about their mask. It's about what they want. It's about their image and their control of that image, or their control of other people to support that image. It has nothing to do with how good you are. It has nothing to do with how bad you are. It just has to do with the narcissist and what they want on a day-to-day basis. Hope that helps. Hope you check out some of the more of the channel. If you haven't already, subscribe, follow on some of the other platforms under Raw Motivations, as we're here to bring awareness, growth, healing, and change. Thanks so much.